Yo, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Truth Carpets. It is I, Mo to the E to the, aka Simone Loud. And as always, I'm with my best friend.
My name be Tina.
I knew you was about to give a new name today because I'm like, she was Chiquita, whoever last week. And now
Chiquita
today you
Banana.
want to be Tina. That ain't your name. Give him your real name before I give him your government.
My name is Eminem. Hi,
Oh
my
my
name is
gosh.
what? My name is who? My name is Slim Shady. It's like, nah, y'all already know. It's Yanique. Why did I say y'all already know? Anyway, I'm Yaya, Yanique Love, Moni's best friend.
Yes, 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 yes. You are. All right, girl. You know what it is. It's another episode, and we are back doing it again. How you feeling this
Oh,
week?
I'm so excited and I just can't hide it.
What was that sound effect, yo? I cannot.
We're on my favorite number episode,
What
boo.
number is that?
It says episode
8
8.
is your favorite number?
Oh, she's supposed to be my best
Girl, I thought your favorite
friend.
number was 21.
No. It's 8.
Actually, I never knew that.
Wow. I've told you because when we were talking about what day should our book come out, and that's why I pushed for 8 because I was like, it's my favorite
No, it
number.
was,
And we met in 2008, and this.
but that's not why we decided on 8. We decided on 8 because we met in August of 2008. Not because your favorite number is
Yeah,
8.
but that's what I pushed. That's why I pushed for the 8.
Like, what? Anywho, well, everybody, Yaya's favorite number is 8. Never forget it. -7.
Well, anyway, this week has been really great. The last few weeks I was feeling kind of mopey and grouchy, but I'm just so excited this week. I feel like a little radiant beam of sunshine.
Oh, I'm so glad you're ready to beam of sunshine because don't nobody want to deal with you when you got a grumpy little attitude. Come on, girl.
I know. I felt so bad too. Like I was like, oh my god, I've been snapping on Simone and snapping on Raven. I feel so bad. Like this is not me. It's something wrong with me. Why am I acting like that to the people I love?
Hey, we have moments. I don't take it personal. I do what Monica said.
Baby.
Don't take it personal. It's just one of them days.
Yeah, it was a few days.
Shoot. Yeah.
But how are you feeling?
Girl, I am ecstatic. You feel me? Because today, honey, I am getting chopped again. I can't wait.
You getting that
Yes,
today?
that is happening today. I am getting another big chop because I really love my hair short. I really loved my big afro. But when I got it short,
it was red.
Yeah, but when I got it short, it was just like a whole nother vibe. It was like, oh, who that is? Okay, come through, short curls. Come through, short curls. Shoot. Plus, I also don't like the. I mean, trust me, I love my hair. I love my hair, but it's just that in between stage. It's either gonna be a big afro or a small one. That in between stage where it's not sure if we want to have a twist out or just comb it out. I just chop it off. It don't be knowing what it want to do.
Carol, that's when I was like, let me put this wig back on because this color is growing out and it look crazy.
That wig with the bangs. That bang.
The bangs. Oh my god. I know I'm excited. Like I love you with the big red afro and I love you with the shortcut too. So I thought you was getting braids today, girl.
Girl, no, I just took the braids out.
No. But you could get new braids.
I could get new braids because I'm always with that new.
Sheet.
All right, y'all, you know what time it is. I'm going to go ahead and give you the rundown for today's episode, Truth Carpet episode 8, since we've started on IGLive. LoveLoudd. Of course, I'm going to be starting off with the dorm stories. We're going to be talking about struggling and coping with being away from home and being in college. Next up, right after that, we're going to be going into our Suite 223, and I will be reciting Diluted Exterior, which is actually an exclusive because it's not in volume 1 or 2 of the LoveLoudd poetry books. Up next, we're going to have Hot Topics, and we're going to be talking today about the effects of mental illness and the importance of having a strong support system. So whether we've struggled with a mental illness or know someone who has struggled with a mental illness, and how we support ourselves and each other. And then we are also going to break down different types of mental illness disorders. And last but not least, as always, we're going to have our announcements that you don't want to miss out at the end of the show. All right, girl, are you ready to go ahead and talk about our dorm stories?
Of course.
All right, let's do it, baby.
All right, Moni. So we're talking about struggles or coping with being away from home. So everybody knows, and if you didn't know, now you know, that Simone is from California.
Mm-hmm.
And I, Yaya, or Tina, is from New Jersey. And we both went down to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, which is located in Georgia. I don't know why we get that question so much.
Hey, where's Clark Atlanta?
Oh, where's Clark Atlanta? Clark Atlanta?
Clark Atlanta.
But anyway, that's miles away from home. So the question today is, did you struggle with being away from home, being away from your friends or your families? How did that feel?
Absolutely, I did. I think mostly for me, though, it was hard coping around holiday time because I never got to go home for Thanksgiving. Like I always went,
Oh, you did
I
not?
didn't. I always went home for Christmas break and I always went home for the summer. But I always felt
Mm-hmm.
like that sense of loneliness around Thanksgiving time and people going off to spend time with their families. And then it's just me. Like, I guess I'll just, hang here in Atlanta. But luckily, I had my aunt who lived in Atlanta, which is the reason why I went to Atlanta anyway, because I was told that I had to go to a school where I had family, which made sense just in case something happened or anything. So I did spend the first year with her. Then I believe it was sophomore year, I went up to Jersey with you for Thanksgiving. Yes.
Yes.
Which I would never take that drive ever again. I'll tell you that right now, driving from Atlanta all the way up to New Jersey and back. No, ma'am.
Or listen to me when I tell you, oh, it's not cold outside. You could
Right.
just put a hoodie on.
Shoot. That cold almost snatched my soul when I went outside without no coat on. That was like, gotcha. I was like, oh, Lord.
Oh my God, the face that you just made.
But yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. And then I think the last 2 years, that was my first introduction to what was called a Friendsgiving, where you got together, everybody cooked and had a potluck because everybody that didn't go home for Thanksgiving all stayed together in the dorm. So we all just cooked together and brought a dish. So that was always fun. I love my introduction to Friendsgiving, but not being able to have Thanksgiving with my immediate family, that always makes me sad. Like even to this day, like if I'm not able to make it out because I'm out of state or too far away or couldn't afford to go home to be with everybody, to like, dang, it's just something about that wholesome feeling at Thanksgiving time and just being grateful and thankful to be with your family.
Yeah.
But what about you, girl? What was your struggle being away?
Being away from home never hit me until it was somebody's birthday. Or they were celebrating something special, like whatever celebration came up, and I wasn't there to enjoy it with my family. It made that little frog come to my throat. Like I'm used to being home. I'm used to going 17 years, or sorry, I had gone 17 years celebrating life and successes with my family and friends, and then not being able to attend those highlights in their life bothered me. And one of the biggest and the last highlight, because it was senior year, I remember crying in my dorm room because my family was calling me so excited because my first nephew was born. And I thought that she was going to give birth to him during spring break, so I would be there. But he came in February, and I was like, I wanted to be there. You
Yeah,
know,
for that moment.
I don't even, did I have an iPhone? I don't remember. But, you know, I wasn't there, and like seeing pictures of everybody else holding him. And, you know, like in my head, I was like, but that's my nephew. That's my nephew.
Right. Yeah, I definitely
You know,
understand where you're coming from because I was thankful that I was able to make it to the hospital when my nephew was born. So I understand. I understand because I know how sad I would be if I wasn't able to be there. The first one, it would be like that's the
right.
so yeah.
But yeah, those missing those special moments was really bothersome for me. But aside from that, what was the most difficult part? You spoke about the celebrations and things like that. Was it anything that was more specific or more difficult about being away from home?
Well, per last episode, that relationship I was in, like aside from
Oh yes, girl.
the hopes of wanting to make that easier, I think it was like the adjustment of not being able to see my family when I wanted to. I guess I could video chat, but initially I didn't even have a laptop to be able to do that. But sometimes I just wanted a hug from my family, especially like during times where I felt like really down and it was easy for me to just go to my nana's house and feel some comfort that way. I go to my mom's house to just sit on the couch and chill with my dad and watch a movie. Like those were things I couldn't do anymore. And phone conversations were
Mm-hmm.
just not enough. And just like you, like I was missing birthdays. Like, yeah, I could send a card and call and sing as much as I want to, but it's just the difference, like being able to be there
Right.
physically and just be with my family. Mostly hugs and just spending that quality time with family when I really wanted to. And a time where I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was just like really homesick at a moment. You know, like homesickness is like a real thing. Like there are times like I've actually been sick because I wish I could go home. Like like it was a real thing, like just being in bed and feeling down because I missed my family.
Mm.
What about you? What was most difficult?
The major thing was just missing things, missing out on things at home, finding a new path. I will say that. I will say that. Because now I'm thinking about when you're at home or when I was at home, I had a routine. Every Tuesday was choir rehearsal. Wednesdays we did this. Thursday we did that. As a family, we did these, you know, different routines that you have. And falling out of the loop of that, going to school and having to navigate life by myself. Before I found comfort in finding a mentor with my professors or upperclassmen, like, what dentist am I gonna go to? What doctor? And I got sick a lot. Remember in
Yeah.
college, like I had to get hospitalized. So, like that part of having somebody to cater to me, like the fun was all there, the education great or whatever. But like when I got sick, who's gonna, you know, care for me? And poor Simone and poor Ronald, y'all took care of me. But that like just having that protective factor or that my mom being there, because like I said, I've gone 17 years with somebody taking care of me, and now I'm quote unquote out there by myself. It's up to me if I want to build relationships with other people or professors and things like that while I'm there. But aside from that, it was literally what I said before, was just being out of the loop of everything. Like I felt like, yo, y'all really back home having a party without me? How dare you? Like without me, like y'all didn't even organize it with me. Like what the heck? Like I was really out of the loop, and I don't like that. Like I like to know what's going
But life
on,
goes on
especially with
without me.
my mom. Yes. Like what? Like are y'all serious? Especially Mother's Day, like bro, like y'all really doing something like that without me?
Yeah.
That it really tore me apart, man, missing stuff like that. What was your favorite thing about being away from home? So we talked about the negatives. What are some highlights? Some good highlights.
Well, for me, darling, it was definitely, it was definitely learning to navigate life on my own. Because you know, when you in high school, you just can't wait. I want to be on my own. I want to move out. I want to be grown.
Right.
Got to college. Stop it. You ain't grown. What you doing? Put it down. Go back. Try that again. What are you doing? You ain't that grown. You still need to call mommy and daddy. You need help. What you
Word.
thought this was? I don't know. Just navigating through all of that, through the ups and downs and the obstacles, and learning how to do things on my own. Like being able to, like how you said, like going to the doctor, then having to do things at the bank, and just and then truly understanding what my parents always told me, like, Simone, your attitude is going to get you in trouble. And I never thought that my attitude was bad, But when I really looked back on it, I was like, damn, I did go into college. I had a really bad attitude. Like,
Yeah.
to the point where, like, freshman year, I had a quick reality check and ended up embarrassing myself simply because I didn't want to take my hat off one day.
Wait, tell me about this. What happened?
It was in first year seminar, and I was supposed to do my hair later that day. And when I say bad hair day, it was legit like bad hair day. And apparently, you ain't supposed to wear hats in class. But I'm like, I mean, I'm a woman. My teacher's a woman. Like, I'm just throw this hat on real quick, go to class, and like, do my thing. And I'm probably just like, this is like a month into school. Now, it haven't even been
When
there
you
that long. So I go.
when you say hat, what kind of are we talking about? Like a baseball
Yeah, it was like
cap?
a baseball cap, like a cap.
Okay.
So I go to class, mind you, I'm sitting in the front and the teacher's talking and then her attention comes to me and she was like, I could either go out of class or keep my hat on. And I'm like, I mean, I can leave class with my hat on or I could take the hat off and I could stay. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, I have a really bad hair day. And everybody's waiting for me to take my hat off. And I'm like, I'm too cool to take my hat off. I'm like, why would I need to take my hat off? Girl, it's the rules. Like, you're not in high school no more. You can't just say
Yeah.
whatever you want and do whatever you want. You gonna get away with it. Ain't no office to send you to. Like, ain't nobody gonna come escort you out of class, girl. So I was like, okay, you know what? I can't miss the lesson. I ain't that much of a badass. So I slowly but surely like took my hat off, but I did it in a way where it's
Ah.
like I just embarrassed myself. Like, I took the hat off, I set my head on the desk, and I was like, I was so mad that I had to take my hat off. I literally had my arms on top of my head so nobody would see my hair.
Oh my god.
Ask Kia, she'll tell you that was like her first impression of me.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, what is wrong with this girl? There's nothing even wrong with her hair. But I was so insecure in how I felt. I made a big deal, a situation that didn't even need to be the way that it was, and made it 100 times bigger than that because I had an attitude about the rules that I didn't want to listen to.
I mean, you were extra. You're a little extra now, but
I was
you
hella
extra.
extra. I came
Hello.
from a theater background. I had to give him a show.
Oh my gosh. Anywho,
what was
thanks for sharing that story.
no,
I thought you were gonna say that you left.
I was gonna leave, but I thought about it. I was like, I ain't that much of a badass. I need to get these grades.
For real.
I don't want to miss out on nothing. Plus,
You don't wanna.
I didn't have any friends in that class at that point, so I couldn't leave. It was still new,
Oh, to get the notes and
right?
stuff. So my favorite part about being away from home was breaking out of my cocoon. I remember freshman year, my grades weren't as good as my mom thought they would be, or I thought that they would be. And I remember having a call with my mom, and she was like, "You down there being a social butterfly and not focusing on your grades. You need to focus on your school. Focus on that step team and stuff, but you're not focusing on this and that." Da, 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 da. And it was the truth. Like, I was used to, when I'm at home, um, being always like studious, always in the house, always like trying to be like this quote unquote perfect girl or stick by the rules and never break them or get into trouble. But when I broke out that cocoon and was, got to be a butterfly, I learned how to navigate through life by myself. Like, I didn't have my mom to direct me and tell me every little thing to do. Like, remember I talked about the dentist, the doctor, all those things. But other than that, learning how to set a schedule for myself. Like, okay, yeah, you go to your 9:15 class, your 12 o'clock class, or whatever. But everything else was on you when you do your homework assignments, when you study, when you like everything else. It's just basically freedom. So just learning how to care for myself, and not always go right back to mommy. Like, at home, I'm like checking with my mom all the time. Mom, what about this? What do you think about that? Da-da-da. But I couldn't call her all the time while I'm at school, and she wasn't there to just run to or pop up at her job. Like, it really pushed me into being the woman that I needed to be to break out of that. I was really dependent on everybody else to do things for me, help me out.
But you got through it and you learned, girl. You did that. Breaking out of your cocoon and transforming into a butterfly.
A cute butterfly at that, girl. Let them know. Let them know. With my bun on my head. All right, so Clark Atlanta, that's a college, and then Atlanta in general is different too. But altogether, it's just a different atmosphere. So, how are you able to cope with being in a new environment?
care packages, honey. My family
Oh,
sending me care packages. And I really, really love the care packages that had that piece of home in it. Like my dad was sending like big care packages. And it was like it was
yeah, he
basically like an
did.
Oakland box. It would have sideshow DVDs, Oakland t-shirts. We had this thing back in the day called hyphy juice.
Oh my
It
god.
was like it's an Oakland staple. So he would put hyphy juice in there. He put some ramen in there. What else would he put in there? Them comedy DVDs we used to watch all the time. But that was like my favorite box. He gave me like that Oakland hometown box, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I miss home so much. Um, and then my mom would always send me cards. My mom was big on cards and motivating me and letting me know that I got it and that she's thinking about me and for me to not stress out. And I still have all of her cards as well as the box that she made me as momentum, that I keep them all in there. So all the cards that I have
Mm-hmm.
from all 4 years of college, whether it was a birthday card, a motivation card, any notes that I've ever gotten, like the cards that y'all have gave me and little notes you gave me for my birthday, they're all in the box. Pictures, everything. So
Aw,
yes, she made that box for me. It's so cute. I'm so glad I still have it. Got to take care of the memory
I'm glad
box.
you have it too. The memory box.
How, how did you
Oh,
cope?
put that on a CD. The
The
memory box.
memory box.
No, sing it like
No,
me. The memory box.
the memory. I liked it my way.
It's my lyrics. It's my lyrics. How did I cope? So I know I spoke about being away from family and everything like that, but I say this all the time. My brother went to Clark Atlanta. My cousin went to Clark Atlanta. My god sister, another cousin, then another cousin, then another cousin. We all went to Clark Atlanta. So my brother would, like, whenever he knew people were in town, visiting, or people still lived in town, but he went back home, he would have them check on me. Like one of his friends took me out to eat one time. Another one just came around campus and walked around with me, seeing how I felt as a freshman there. My cousin, who was just 1 year, well, two of them, who were just 1 year ahead of me at school, they had friends already. So like when they were hanging out, when the upperclassmen were able to come, they introduced me to their friends. I just love the Southern atmosphere. Everyone's so kind, and just it seemed like they're really nice. But other than that, it was different for me. Like just starting anew. Like when you go to a new environment, you don't really have friends or nobody there. Like, yeah, those are Ronald's friends, Eric's friends, my brother's friends, but they're not my friends.
Right.
So just getting comfortable with allowing people to be around me. I remember, and I think I said this before, probably on the Instagram live, when I told everyone I was going to try out for the sweets, but then I punked out and I used the excuse of my brother's friend taking me out to eat of the reason why I couldn't try out. But then Eric's friend found me on the promenade. She was like, "Aren't you Eric's cousin? You wasn't at the tryouts yesterday. Come on, we about to teach you this step. You going to the tryouts?" Typical Yaya would have shied away and like, "Oh no, I don't want to do it." But not being forced in a negative way, but being forced in a positive way to do that kind of like helped me to help the little first part of my cocoon crack. And then after that, like Trisha became a friend of mine who, like, she saw me as a little sister, and like she would invite me over to
Mm-hmm.
her apartment. We'll hang out. She'll talk to me about school, boys, life, shopping, everything. And at first, like, I like to be by myself most of the time. Like when I want to be by myself, I want to be by myself. And when I want to be with people, then I want to be with people. But majority of the time, I want to be by myself. But with her, like, inviting me and things like that, it felt warm. It felt good. So being able to do that helped me to readjust with my new environment. And then lastly, being around Black professors. Like,
Come on, Black
so first
professors.
of all, yes, come on, y'all. I went to a charter school in Newark, and we had Black teachers, and it felt cool there. But just to go to a school with Black professors who looked at you like their little daughter, their little niece, things like that, you can have a connection with them and show you the way. Like, I remember one time, I swear it was me and you. We were walking to the West End from campus, and one of the faculty members saw me walking. I had my little baby doll dress on. To me, it was a good length, and she rolled by and she was like, Yanique, that dress is too short. You need to be mindful of that dress. I'm gonna tie your brother. And I was like, so after that, I like paid attention. But just having that, like those people, it made it feel like home. Like Clark Atlanta is my second home. Yeah.
Ooh, when you mentioned family, it made me think of when my mom surprised me. I think it was freshman year because she didn't bring me down for my orientation. My dad did. So during the first
Mm-hmm.
semester, my mom came down and she hopped out of the back of my auntie van. Nobody's business. Oh my gosh. That's like one of the best
Aw.
memories I have from when she had came that weekend to visit me. I think that was around Halloween time too, because she took the pictures of us when we had that small step show at the suites outside by the gazebo. I still
Oh
got those pictures.
yes, yes,
She was
yes.
there that day,
Oh
so
my
she was there
gosh,
taking all the pictures. She was so excited. Oh my gosh.
that's so
Yeah,
cute.
she loved a good surprise. I definitely was not expecting her to pop out my auntie van like that. I was
Pop.
she did. She popped up on the sister. Okay.
No, but I love that too. Like, when your mom came, when the boys' parents came, Priscilla's mom. Remember, she popped up out that I swear it was a limo on campus. It wasn't. It didn't. It never felt like I'm coming to see my child and that's it. Like it felt like we were all getting a visit from our parent. We were all treated like. I remember Priscilla's mom, when she sent her a care package, she sent us some what's the name of
Hot
those
crunchy
chips
curls,
from
baby.
Chicago?
Hot crunchy
Yes,
curls.
she sent us some hot crunchy curls. Your mom sent a picture for me of us with our little white outfits on. Like they didn't just love their own child.
Yeah.
They loved all of us. So that was really special too. Dang, black
Shout out
parents,
to
y'all.
extended families.
For real.
All right, darling. Are you ready to mosey on over to Suite 223?
Yes, girl. I'm excited to hear this
Oh, I
poem.
don't know if you know this one.
I don't know it.
All right, let's do it. Alrighty, y'all. In this segment of Suite 223, I'm going to be reciting Diluted Exterior. Though surrounded by bliss, I dismiss kind eyes with lies, embedded inside for no one else to see except me. Living in a world with twisted definitions of perfection, a forced exception of what's bottled up constantly implodes, and who I truly am is unknown. A clone, empty. Waiting until the day the sun rises again while the rain keeps pouring, the pain is enduring. No cure for this reclusive yet elusive state of mind, full of silent cries, warning signs, and whys. In search of an escape from my reality, lost control of my sanity, trying to return to the smile I once possessed. But now everything seems hopeless. Laid my cards on the table, each face was a joke. Another reminder that the laughs continued throughout my demise, why I tried to keep going without knowing what's next. In regard to myself, I should know what's best. Yet, I'm lost. Distraught and always confused, my emotions construed as a misinterpretation to be understood, when all I want is to be left alone. Lock the door, shut the blinds, remain inside with my damage, no need to perceive what others may believe about my life when they're not even right. Outside looking in, never knowing how hard it is to pretend that my life is not spiraling out of control. I look myself in the mirror with my eyes closed. Having conversations in my bed as I lay my head, telling myself as my heart beats slow, this is a mirage instead. A figment of my imagination, the indignation of my own misfortune, an erratic distortion that created blurred lines intertwined with an unspeakable truth. The proof is behind my eyes, deep within my mind. I want to say more than I should, but on the surface of my shallow exterior, a facet to my serene demeanor, for those that think I tried as hard as I could, I'm good.
Oh, Simone. I like that piece. I never heard that before. So that was really nice to hear.
Yeah,
But
that was a special one.
of course, I want to know what inspired that piece. Like, I can hear what it's about, but what situation
Uh,
was your muse? I like that word, muse.
my muse was actually a friend of mine. My friend Tina reached out to me. She was working on a short film, and she asked me if I could write a piece that would work as a voiceover for the film to basically describe from the outside looking in what a person may perceive about you and how you put on this facade in front of people, how you laugh and you joyous, you got it all put together, you great, and people wish that they could be you, not knowing that behind closed doors you're falling apart. You're dealing with things that they would probably never understand, things that you don't talk about, that you don't think that they would think is true. Like just by looking at you, like, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you. What are you talking about? It was interesting for me to write because she told me to write it like in a form of as if I was giving myself a eulogy, as if I was giving up on myself. Like I'm ready to be done. I feel like I've done all that I could in regards to being on this earth, and I feel like I've had enough. So that's where the inspiration came from for this piece. So I had to dig a little deep.
That's dope. Like, kudos to you because I thought that came from a situation that you've encountered specifically. I didn't know you were directed to create that. So, like, that's dope. Like, I don't, bro, because we spoke about this during our first IGLive when people were asking us, where does your inspiration come from? How do you write? And I remember one thing that I said was, everything that I write about comes from something that I'm encountering or have dealt with before. I may add some drama to it or whatever, but I don't think that I can write if somebody says, hey, yeah, write about this. I've never experienced it, and I kind of freak away from doing that. So to know that your friend hit you up and asked you to do it and you were able to create that content, honey, this wig off to you, okay? Wig off to you.
Thank you. I'm not gonna say that it was easy, but I definitely had to use pieces of myself in order to create this character. Because I think as a writer, no matter what we're writing, we have to use parts of ourselves and our experiences in
Yeah.
order to create stories, whether they're true or false, or adding a little bit of,
Traumatized.
drama. Exactly. So I enjoyed writing it. She ended up not using it, which is fine. But as a writer, I found it, like you said, it was dope for me to be able to take something that someone gave me, like, hey, I need a piece that's like this, and me being able to deliver. Because she did ultimately like the piece in the
Yeah.
end. So
That's dope. And whether she used it or not, you have something to add to your catalog.
exactly.
So I'm a proud best friend. Yeah.
I love your songs.
Thank you. And don't try to change the beat or nothing, the flow. Shoot, I want my credit.
You know what's next. Are you ready?
We're gonna move on to
Sing it, girl.
hot topics. Did I do it right this time?
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You got
Okay.
it.
All right, y'all. For today's hot topic, Moni and I are going to be discussing the effects of mental illness and the importance of having a strong support system. We're also going to be discussing our specific views of mental health, whether we have struggled with mental health illnesses or if we've witnessed other people that we love or whether whoever's in our circle, if they struggle with mental illnesses. So we're going to get into it. All right, Moni, I always have a question for you, sweetie. What do you think when you hear the phrase mental health?
The first thing that comes to mind is peace and balance. I believe our minds can spiral out of control if we don't create a healthy balance for everything that we have going on, whether it's work, friends, family, personal things, like just finding like some type of happy medium in regards to everything that we have to do so we don't burn ourselves out and stress ourselves out, because mental stability is very, very, very important. So peace
Yeah,
and balance is definitely at the top of the list for me.
that's good. That's good to think about. A lot of us don't think about that. That's why I try to stay away from saying mental illness and just say mental health. which is what I'm about to share now. So when I hear that phrase, I think negative stigmas our Black community has on seeking services in this department. We easily tease people or ridicule one another and call each other retarded, or oh, she must be bipolar, or you got OCD, things like that, opposed like and tease them to the extent that people feel like they don't want to go seek services because we don't want what you're saying to be true. I'm not retarded. I don't have OCD. I don't have anxiety. I'm not bipolar. And I'm not gonna go get that help, because if I go get that help, it's gonna make it seem like what you are saying is true. And I don't want that to be true, because you're saying it to me in a tone that's really negative. I hate that, because if I got a cough, if I fall down while I'm rollerblading and crack my arm and it's just dangling off, where you gonna say I gotta go? To the hospital, to my a physician, right? If
Right.
I say, oh my God, my eye, I can't see out of my left eye, you gonna send me to the doctor. But if I
Right.
say I've been having scary thoughts about when my family used to beat on me, or I just can't shake the fact that my room has to be decluttered and in a specific area, and if I go to your house, I just gotta clean that too. Or one minute I'm calm, then the next minute in your eyes I'm snapping. She must be crazy. Something wrong with her. But we never point our own people in a direction to seeking mental health. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with those things, because I don't believe in the word normal. I think we all are going through things. Nothing is worse or better than the other one. But if we can tell people, go to the dentist for this, go to your physician for this, we should be able to say, seek a mental health clinician for these things.
And I think too, in addition to that, I like that now it seems like it's okay now to seek out mental help,
Mm-hmm.
going to therapy. It seems like it's becoming a new norm in regards to people supporting each other and saying, hey, it's okay to go seek out help. Talk
Yeah.
about your problems from people outside of your family. Sometimes you can't talk to your family. You can't talk to your friends. And sometimes you definitely can't talk to yourself. It's okay to seek outside help. That's
Yeah.
what they're there for. Because it's not like sometimes you're always talking about like things that you feel like is making you crazy. Sometimes it's just stuff that you just need to let go and let out and de-stress,
Yeah.
and being able to have somebody that's a third party that's not judging you, but like leading you in the right direction to make a sound decision. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I love, within the recent years, I would say 3 or 4 years, that we've been hearing people try to crack that and speak about it. And then within last year and this year, you hear Charlemagne or different other radio personalities advertising and pushing for a positive outlook for mental health. Also, you see on Instagram, different platforms or different IG handles, that's supporting, quote unquote, the movement of promoting mental health and mental
Mm-hmm.
stability. But that's always the first thing that I think of, that we're still on this journey, we're still on this push to promote mental health in our Black community. I mean, white people, they don't got no problem, they be sitting on that big white comfy couch. But when it comes to our people, even still today, it's some people still set in their mind like, nah, I ain't crazy, I ain't gonna see no therapist. What I need that for? I got my boyfriend, I got this person. But yeah, that's the first thing that I think of. Do you know anyone who suffers from mental health?
I know a few different people, friends and family, who have suffered from anxiety, depression, as well as bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, when I first found out about their mental instability, I wasn't sure how to show up for them. So
That's real.
it was important for me in regards to like loving them so much that I did my research in regards to what would be best. Because I know, and it took me a while to learn this, but I can only help them to a certain extent. Granted, someone that has a mental illness, there's some type of imbalance that keeps them from doing things that seem quote unquote sane. But at the same time, like I could tell them all day, like, hey, you need to do this so you don't feel this way. I can't control how they decide to receive that information, or whether or not they will want to take what I say and try to help themselves. I can't help you if you don't want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So in doing my research, I just make sure that I show up appropriately for them, just to make sure that I'm not doing anything that could possibly trigger them. And also making sure that I'm there as a supportive outlet, whether it's if someone needs to, whether they need to talk, whether I'm there in regards to calming them down from a panic attack. One of a close friend of mine, she suffered from anxiety, but she suffered from anxiety attacks really bad, and they would come at sporadic moments. And when it started to happen to her, I was out of state. So when she would call me, I knew she was having a panic attack just by the way that she spoke. Like her sentences, they didn't connect, they wouldn't make sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but like in that moment, like I knew, like, okay, she's having a panic attack. Because just based off what she's trying to tell me, but it's not coherent. So I would know that when she spoke to me from when we had spoke previously, that I had to make sure I calmed her down and asked her simple questions that she should easily be able to answer to bring her back to a calm state. Whether that was asking her what her favorite color was, asking her where she was at that moment, when her birthday was, like things like that, that she can
Oh,
answer to
wow.
bring her back to a state of awareness and bring her
Yeah.
like, okay, and calm her back down. For some people, I might have to do like a breathing exercise with them, like count back down from 100 all the way down to 1. Like doing that didn't work for her. Like I literally had to ask her questions to help her remember who she is and where she is.
Yeah, that's a blessing. That's amazing that you were able to do that, because some people can easily get lost in the commotion of what's going on for that person.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it's somebody that you love in distress, it's easy to feel distress with them because you're freaking out and you just
Mm-hmm.
want to see that person in their norm. So for you to be able to pull yourself away from that relationship that you have and use exercises that you've learned to assist somebody else, that's amazing.
And I think
Kudos to
so
you.
too.
I need to find a new word aside from amazing though, but
Thank you. I'll take it.
okay.
I think aside from that too, like in regards to like wanting to be in like or feeling like you're in distress with that person, it's a quick shift. Like to just answer the phone, someone like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And then you click on the phone, you be like, "Wait, hold on, wait, what's wrong? What's going on?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, talk to me, slow down. What's happening?" I feel like it's important to be there, but also knowing that you could be there at any moment. Like some people say, you can call me anytime. Can I really call you anytime?
You call me
Knowing
anytime. I
I
got you
know I
on
could
my
call
favorites
you.
list.
I know I could call you, but it's just saying like having a strong support system, like making sure that you have people in place that you can call that you know for sure are going to show up for you,
Yeah.
that are ready, that know exactly what to do when you need them in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know anyone that suffers from mental health?
I do know some people personally who suffer from anxiety, depression, ADHD, ADD, and other mental health disorders. And I also know people who have have questions about what they're feeling or what they've experienced and are wondering if they have these diagnoses, but have not yet been evaluated.
Mm,
I know people who had anxiety and they kind of been like the same experience that you said, like on a high, kind of like
yeah.
feeling like they're like you can hear it in their tone of how they're speaking, the speed of what's going on, nothing making sense at all, and basically panicking. I remember the first time somebody called me and they were having a panic attack. I was that person that I explained. I was kind of like freaking out, like what the like I never heard you like that, and it's making me feel uncomfortable. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
there with you, like I'm scared, like I can't hang up the phone because I'm scared. But then I had to like say, okay, one person being super excited and another person being super excited is too much static. I need to
Mm,
calm myself down and help that person come down with me too, and try to like rationale it. And then also letting them know it's okay if you're going through this right now. I'm just glad that you called me. I'm glad that you thought to pick up a phone and call anybody, but thank God it's me. And then also aside from that, someone with ADHD, ADD. This is a close family member of mine who suffered from this as a child, reportedly. And I say reportedly because clinicians will diagnose a child who doesn't listen, can't sit down, is always hyper, always wanting attention, with the quickness of saying it's ADHD or ADD, instead of
Mm-hmm.
just like the first visit, ADHD, ADD, let's give them some medication, opposed to like taking your time and properly diagnosing these children. It's like weird because I do therapy personally, and then seeing the effects of somebody in my family suffering, quote unquote, from this, and taking the medication, and it hurting us as a family, seeing that person when they're on these medications not being himself.
Right.
Like, do I want to see you super excited in my face, wanting to play all the time and kind of getting on my nerves? Or do I want to see you sitting slumped over in your room, no energy, and looking like a totally different person? Like, I want to knock on your noggin and say, like, what happened to, I'm gonna make up a face name. What happened to Tommy? Like, where's Tommy? This seems to be Zeus right here. Like, I don't know this quiet person. Like, now I become that person. Like, hey, wanna play? Wanna get on my nerve?
Yeah.
No. So that was a struggle, and a lot of parents decide to, I'm about to take my child off of this Ritalin and whatever other drugs they use, because this right here is not my child, and my child is not like enjoying these drugs or the side effects of it. So what else can we do? It's tough seeing people that you love and care about suffer from mental illnesses. And when I say suffer, I mean like trying to find a balance of how to control it. Because remember, I said nobody's normal. Everybody has something. To try to like figure it out with them is tough. But the blessing in it is the width. They're not by themselves. And thank God that they called me. And thank God that I'm able to see these things in order to be a positive support for them.
I think it's important to know, as someone that is being of support, I'm not always going to be able to help them as much as I may
Right.
want to show up. Sometimes I can't show up no more.
Mm-hmm.
And that hurts me. And it's almost like, I feel as if I've done all that I can in regards to helping you. It's time for me to take a step back and try to see if you will take the steps to get the help that you need, because I can't be your sole support. You
Mm-hmm.
you have to get some type of outside help and
Right.
not be afraid to do what you need to do to be better.
And I think that highlights the point of why therapists cannot give services to family members or friends or anybody in their network at all. I know a lot of people ask or say, well, why can't I just go to my friend? Or why can't I do this, or whatever? Or I don't want to talk to a stranger about that, about my personal problems. When you have somebody who is close to you in any kind of way, there are too many emotions involved, too many memories that you have from the past or hope for the future, that those things can like blind you or like get in the way of trying to help that person. I'm sure people have been in a situation where you're trying to help a loved one and they're just not seeing eye to eye with you or following you at all of what you're trying to show them. And then you probably start to get in an argument or a battle with them, like, girl, would you just leave him alone? He is beating your ass. You need to leave him, blah blah blah, opposed to
Right.
helping them properly through the process. It's easier. Let's think about it like this: when you are starting to deal with a guy, there's no emotions involved. You just getting to know them. It's easier to cut them off, or it's easier to ask them the hard questions than to ask somebody who you've been invested with for a longer period of time. So it's easier for the therapist to ask the hard questions or to, be the GPS for them to navigate through things than a friend who's like, you're basically a part of that ride with them. So you're trying to help you and that person at the same time. It can be too much. So I support
Definitely.
people going out to get assistance from a counselor, a therapist, social worker, things like that.
Absolutely. I support that 100%.
Do you or have you ever suffered from a mental illness?
I do. I suffer from anxiety, which a lot of people in my life haven't been aware of. And I
Mm-hmm.
honestly feel like it stems from different things. Thankfully, it's not as bad as it used to be, because I used to get really bad panic attacks to the point that I was calling people that wasn't in the same city with me that had to literally calm me down, tell me to breathe. And it even happened twice at work. Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. But I think over time, I began to realize why my anxiety was becoming so bad. And I think, like, as I've gotten older, because the first time I had a panic attack, I was 23. So I've been able to control them more so now. But I know when I do get one, it's because I've tried to push things back that I didn't want to deal with. Now it's all coming to the surface at once, and my body is on overload.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I go through this panic attack, then I pretty much shut down, and so I'm able to bring myself back up to a normal state again, which really sucks. But at least I know why it happened. So I try to be mindful of how I navigate through my everyday life to make sure that I can avoid it happening. Because as often as it was happening in my past, it was important for me to figure out why it was happening so much, because everything that I had going on from being in grad school and struggling to find like work and still trying to like keep my creative space and my mind in a healthy space, it was a lot for me to try to navigate, because it was the first time that I had to do it. So every time a new struggle came into the situation, it was just like, now I got to deal with this too. How am I supposed to deal with this and this?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that I am better at understanding what to do to make sure that my mental stability is not all over the place.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you're able to have a handle on that and recognize it.
Thank you, girl, because it was not easy getting here. I tell you that.
Yeah. Man, my one of my girlfriends says God would never put you through a situation that he knows that you're not strong enough to bear, strong enough to handle. God saw you strong enough and put friends in your life and therapists in your life to help you through these situations that you've been going through and are going through. So thank God for that, and thank God for you still being here. Because
Amen.
having anxiety is not easy. It can be tough to manage. So that's something that I feel like I suffer from as well. The first time I ever saw a therapist or counselor was when I was at CAU. And that was only because I studied psychology. So the professors encouraged us to see a clinician or see going for counseling, because you want to see what it's like to be in that other seat. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can sit there on the single couch seat by yourself, but what is it like to sit on the other side with the person that's not with the pen and the pad in the hand? So that's the first time I went, but quote unquote, it wasn't like real or whatever. It was just like me and my boyfriend at the time we went. It was good sessions or whatever, but my first time going for like things about me, feeling like I'm not able to handle what I'm going through. Why am I reacting like this? Why am I like feeling like I'm kind of suffocating? I never cut myself. I never like burnt myself or things like that. But I thought like, I just want to cut myself. I just want to burn myself. I just want to do something so that I can feel that pain more than the things that I'm thinking of in my head. Why
Mm.
can't I have control over these things that's going on in my life? Why me? Why me? Like, I would just think those things a lot. And right now I'm on my fourth therapist, and I'm gonna do the air quotes therapist, because the first two people that one person was a counselor. The second person, I think the next two, so the second and third person were social workers. But the first person, he was cool, right? But he knew that I was in school for marriage and family therapy. So he spent a lot of time talking about what I was learning and trying to like, I feel like he was trying to teach me more about my education by using myself as an example, but not
Mm.
focusing on what I came and the problem that I put out to him. And then I remember I was speaking with him about the guy that I was heartbroken over and everything. He was like, "Oh, don't worry, men are gonna flock to you." And then another session we had, he was at, like, this is when I had my internship and I was about to graduate. He was like, oh, so are your friends looking for employment? They're looking for a job. Do you want an internship? And that's against the code of ethics. So I'm like, why is this man who is licensed doing things that's against the code of ethics? So I was like, nah, I gotta go. Next person, when I was talking to her, it just felt like there was like a pattern of people saying, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And it got annoying to the fact of like, okay, they're saying I'm normal, but why is normalcy feeling like this? Like, I do not feel comfortable with all this stuff going on. Yes, I have my friends, my family, people that will put me out of the rut that I felt like I was in. But when that phone call ends, and when I'm alone and I can't reach out to anybody, or I just feel like I tell myself, you can't call her. You just call her 20 times about the same thing. She don't want to hear that. Who else do I have? So it's good for me to have that therapist to understand what I'm going through, what I'm saying, and put those two and two things together. So I did last week. Hallelujah. Start back therapy because I found out that my insurance does have it. So I went like 2 years almost without seeing a therapist because I thought I thought I wasn't insured for it. So I started last week with a Black woman therapist who's a marriage and family therapist. So she thinks systemically, not linear. And I kept telling her like I kept telling other therapists about the patterns in my family that I see. And then they were like, no, no, no. But this person, like everything that I was saying that I felt like it was true to me, she was like saying it out loud. Even the things that I didn't mention to her that I thought myself, she was saying it. It was just like, just to have somebody validate my experiences and my feelings and everything that I'm going through. Even like she was saying, you're strong, you're this, you're that. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, but this, da, 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 and this is why you think those things. I was just like, bro, that it was more than one frog in my throat. And it just felt good for somebody to, validate me in that moment. And I'm looking forward to speaking with her again.
It was
Um,
I know how you feel. So as far as having like a breath of fresh air, because what I didn't realize I was gonna have to do in regards to like seeking a therapist was having to go through so many therapists. I'm like, okay, this relationship ain't gonna work. I
girl.
need to go find somebody else.
Mhm.
We not clicking. And then it was important for me this time around finding a therapist was to make sure I found a Black female therapist because I've been to a white woman before, no shade. We didn't
Yeah,
click. I'm just like, I can't.
that was my second
This is
one,
not
girl.
gonna work. I went to her one time, never went to her again. I didn't feel like she heard me or was listening to anything that I was saying, and
Mhm.
it felt like she was reading from a book, and I was just like, I can't come back here. The next time I started going consistently again was with a Black female therapist. But even with her, it didn't click because I thought, finally, yes, I found a Black female therapist. This
Yeah.
is exactly what I need. But even sitting with her in sessions after the initial sessions of her, getting to know me and
Intake.
all of that,
Yeah.
right? It felt like she was trying to be my friend more so than be my therapist. She'd be like, yeah, girl, and blah, blah, blah. And she'd be like talking
Oh,
off on a tangent. And I'm like, girl, I'm not here to talk to you about your daughter or your past work experiences. Like, listen to
wow.
like that. She wasn't working for me. And I felt like I mean, in a sense, yes, therapists give you advice, but I felt like she was more so telling me what to do
Yeah.
opposed to guiding me so I can figure it out myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, this isn't working, but thank God I have the Black female therapist I have now. It's been about it's almost a year. I think I'm 2 months shy of a year of seeing
Okay.
her weekly. So
Mhm.
the relationship is bomb. I love her. Like, I'm very appreciative of the relationship that I have built with her and meeting the goals that I set for myself in my first
Mhm.
initial session, and her being able to go back and let me know, like, you were here.
You go,
Look at the work
girl.
that you've done, and like reminding myself of of what I want to achieve for myself, because like she'll bring up something that I was talking about 4 months ago, and I'm like, dang, I forgot all about that. You right. Thank
That's
you so
called growth.
much.
Growth,
Amen.
honey.
That's what we
New
want.
growth. But yeah, I love that we mentioned this because it's not a one size fit all situation. And if you think about it, girl, when you shop for Fenty, they got so many different shades for you. Me and Simone aren't that far color wise, but when you look at our numbers, they're not the same. Like on the bottom of that Fenty bottle, so you may pick up the first one and it's the right color. You may ask, "Hey, Sephora lady, can you help me pick out the shade?" And which happened to me, she gave me a shade that was too pale. And then you may ask another person who looked like a friend, "Hey, girl," because I saw this girl and she was cute in the store and she was black. I was like, she told me this color, but can you help me? You think this match my neck? And she was like, yeah. And that's literally what happened to me. First, I went on Psychology Today, found somebody who was trying to be my friend. And I went back on Psychology Today, something that was just not fitting right. Went back again. It was a little close, but then when I reached out to my friends and I was like, yo, like, who's your therapist? Because you seem to be having a good jolly time with your therapist. Like having breakthroughs, being able to cry and feel like somebody that I know would not cry for nothing, and just to be able to cry and let that shit out. I was like, bro, like, and she black, and she an MFT. Who is it? Because, bro, like, it's not a one size fit all. It's not a 150
Fits all.
fits all. Like you may have to shop around, and that's okay. And call your insurance company; they can help you if you don't know who's in your network or things like that. Go on
Absolutely.
Instagram. Therapy for Black girls, isn't it? Therapy for Black boys too. They have different things. Just search therapy, search therapist in your IG page. Go on the
Right.
internet. Psychology Today. You can click on the tabs of what you want to see. What kind of, you can even click if they are black, if they're white, Arabic, this, that, what their specialties are. You can filter through them. So I encourage you, if you're going through something now, or if you just want somebody to talk to, especially if
Right.
you have insurance that's going to pay for it,
And
go
there are
get
some
that.
spaces where you can get therapy for free. You just have
Yeah.
to do your research, but there are some spaces that you could see someone without having to pay a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So look out for those too. It's all about research. Sometimes it's hard to find, but they're out there. You just have to find them.
Or just opening your mouth. Like, I know it was taboo to say, hey, I'm seeking therapy, I want help. Like, I remember at a point I didn't want to tell nobody that I was doing that, but now it's becoming more comfortable because more people are speaking about therapy, which helps more people to speak about therapy, which helps more people to speak about therapy. So when we open our mouths and say, hey, I've been going through something, or hey, I heard about therapy and I want to give one a try, that person that you're speaking to might be like, girl, I just came back from my therapist. Let me give you his or her number. Like, you never know.
Right.
Just open mouths don't get fed.
Hey, I found mine because I went to therapyforblackgirls.com and I reached out to one lady. She wasn't available. She was booked, but she recommended another place for me. And that's how I found my
Come on,
therapist.
referral. Come
Come
on,
on,
referral.
referrals. That's just how it works. You have to and keep looking until you find the right person for you.
hmm
It's very beneficial once you find that right fit.
So we talked about getting support from our friends, loved ones, and therapists. But how do you support yourself?
Of course, I support myself by going to therapy. But like I mentioned before, I think a large part of supporting myself is understanding my triggers
Mm.
and knowing how to avoid them if possible. So managing my schedule is a big part of that. So I don't put too much on my plate and meditating daily. I meditate daily now. It was hard for me to get into it at first because it was so hard to get out of my head. But I highly, highly, highly recommend to anybody that's looking for a new way to give themselves some peace of mind, try meditation. It's difficult at first. Start with 5 minutes, work your way up to 10. I'm up to 20 minutes at this point, but I can literally
Okay.
just sit. Yes, girl.
That's
Sit and
awesome.
just zone out. From time to time, I still have things that are like in my subconscious that try to peek itself to the forefront, but you just have to keep reminding yourself, to block everything out. It's something about being able to block everything out, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to not think about anything. Just think about nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to come back out of that feeling like in such a state of peace. I love it. I also support myself by knowing who to call, whether it's calling you, calling my mom, calling my sisters, calling my dad. I know exactly who to call for specific things, and I know who's going to tell me exactly what I need to be told at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I journal a lot. I write notes to myself. I write love letters to myself for whenever I need to go back to them. I take long walks. And as a lot of you may know, I love taking pictures of flowers. And I always talk about it because it's a profound part of my life that brought me out of a dark space after my grandmother passed away. And I was really, really, really depressed. So when I went back outside and I started taking pictures of flowers and was reminded of the beauty that is around me, every single time I see a flower, I always stop to take a picture. I don't care what time it is, where I'm at. If I see a flower, I'm taking a picture of it. At this point in my phone, I have at least 300 plus pictures of flowers. I don't know what to do with them at this point, but like just having that is a constant reminder for me. Like, you were there, you will never be there again. And since then, I have not been back in that dark space. And I love having these pictures of flowers, of these memories for me, just to keep moving forward and to love myself, immersing myself in self-love and letting myself know that I got it and I'm good. Especially when in times when my mind starts to go haywire, I got to bring it back. I got to bring it back.
I was on a Chris Brown. Hey, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. That's why she laughing. uh, I love that I get to see you during these calls. For me, I already spoke about attending therapy. I recently, since quarantine, have been going for walks because pre-quarantine, I would engage in events every weekend. I had something to do with a friend, and it wasn't always the same friend either. It was like, oh, this weekend I'm with this girl, this weekend I'm with that girl, this weekend I'm with this clique. Just always having something to do. And I love my job because typically when we hear sick day, it's like, oh, I got a cough, I got a fever, I had surgery done, I got to stay home. But because of the field that I work in, we also are allowed to use our sick days for mental health days. And people are allowed to do that at other occupations too. It's just that people just think, I got a cough, I'm calling out sick. So that's how I help myself pre and during quarantine. But going for the walks really helped me because at first I was happy to be able to work at home. Like, yo, I finally get to watch Netflix. I finally get to chill, not having to be in traffic. I ain't cussing nobody out because I have road rage, y'all. But then it started to get dark. Like, yes, I have windows, but it started to get dark. Being in the house all the time, I felt like myself feeling like I was low. And I was just like, it's hot outside. Let me just go for a walk. And I just noticed that one time, like, after going for a little walk, that I felt like really happy. So that helped me. And then also having conversations with people who I love and trust. Like, it's not easy to just talk to people that I know that they care about me or trust me. Sorry, I know that they care about me and love me. But can I trust you with this information that I'm telling you? Also knowing what my breaking point is and finding the strength to reach out to that person. It can be easy for me to sit in solitude and just go through my depression, my anxiety, different thoughts that I have by myself. But to know that, like, I have somebody to reach out to. Sometimes it takes me a minute. It's not easy to reach out, but doing that helps pull me out of it. Also, allowing myself to go through what I like, feel through what I'm going through.
Yes,
I
amen.
I remember for a small example, the last guy that I dated kind of seriously, I only said kind of because I don't know what his perspective of it is, but the last guy that I took seriously as far as dating, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go a year without talking to, dating, having interest in anybody because I realized that when I am dealing with somebody, in order to get over it, that person or over that situation, I find somebody else quick and with a hurry. Like, just like, even if nothing's lasting with it or anybody, just to have somebody be that bandage. I don't allow myself to go through it and feel what it feels like, because then after somebody else hurts me, then I'm still thinking about those other people before.
Right.
So that this example is, of course, an example that is talking about everything that I'm going through. Like, nobody wants to be hurt. Like, as soon as a baby falls, we typically run over, oh my God, pick the baby up, rub them, you don't want to see them cry. But just, I had to learn that I have to allow myself to heal. Allow myself what it feels like to go through this, so then I can become stronger and know how to come out of it the next time I realize I'm in this dark, deep hole. How can I keep myself from tripping in that same hole? Or how can I learn how to use some of the dirt that's on the side to put on the bottom so that I become higher and higher in that pit?
Come on, growth.
Yes.
Come on, somebody. You can grow through the
Somebody.
darkness. I talk about that all the time. You can definitely grow through your darkness. And nobody said you got to stop. You can pause, but you're going to keep going at some point. Ain't no moving backwards. What are
And
you talking about?
you know what? Darkness is good for you. Darkness definitely promotes growth. A plant that sits in the sun for too long will burn out. You gotta let them sit in some darkness, drink some water, and then get some sunlight another time.
All right, y'all. So usually in this segment, we will give you a scenario or mail from one of our listeners. But today we are going to break down some of the causes of mental disorders. There's no single cause for mental illness. A number of factors can contribute to the risk for mental illness, such as your genes and family history,
Your life experiences, such as stress or history of abuse, especially if they happen in childhood.
biological factors, such as chemical imbalances in the brain,
A traumatic brain injury.
a mother's exposure to viruses or toxic chemicals while pregnant,
Use of alcohol or recreational drugs.
having a serious medical condition like cancer.
Having few friends, or feeling lonely or isolated.
This information comes from medlineplus.gov/mental health disorders. All right, baby. Let's go on ahead and give them some announcements.
All right, y'all. So we want to ask you to subscribe to our website so that you can download our self-love journal. Earlier today, Moni talked about journaling and how she uses that as a source of comfort or outlet when she's dealing with something. And I, too, have printed this journal and used it. And I love the prompts that were given in it. Not because I helped create it, but like aside from that, it was really useful at the time. Subscribe. And hey, why not? It's free.
Absolutely. Who don't want something free? Y'all love free stuff. All you gotta do is subscribe and you receive it right to your inbox.
Right to your inbox.
Alrighty, and next up we have our August question of the month, which is, if you could give advice to your 16-year-old self, what would you say? If you answer as a member on our website, you'll be entered to win an exclusive LoveLoudd journal. I say exclusive because it's not on the website. You can't buy it. So the only way you can win it is as a member answering in the group section for the question of the month. Also, if you would like to hear our answers to the question of the month, go ahead and check out our YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. We want to also ask that you support us by listening to our Spotify playlist, which we labeled as our Wednesday vibes, y'all. We have been enjoying putting up posts on our Instagram page and putting it on our stories with Simone and Yaya have a competition on Wednesdays, and we battle it out. Which song matches the post best? And you, as our viewers, as our supporters, have been helping us choose the songs that's going to go on our playlist. And like I said last time, I enjoy listening to it when I'm cooking in the kitchen and when I'm cleaning up. So if y'all want those good tunes, make sure you hit up. Make sure you go to Spotify and subscribe to our playlist or just take a listen.
Right, hit that like button, hit that follow button, hit that. What does Spotify have? A follow button? Follow the playlist, whatever button it is.
Push that like button.
Like button, follow button, all the buttons. Hit play. And last but certainly not least, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As I said before, our answers for the question of the month of August will be on there. Plus, all our previous questions of the month will be on there also. Oh, but you can also see our previous episodes for Truth Carpet when we were first on IG. Those are up on YouTube also.
Oh man, our first episode was so much fun. The interaction with the people and everybody. Shout out to y'all. I know y'all are listening. I would drop some names, but I'm not going to drop the names. But I know because I'm able to have conversations with y'all about what Simone and I discuss on this podcast. So shout out to the people who have been supporting us and listening to our Truth Carpet since we were on IG. So if you're not one of those people, we're not mad at you. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you were going through stuff, whatever. It's okay. It's on YouTube. So make sure you search us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and you won't regret it, baby.
Exactly. Make sure you don't forget it's LoveLoudd. You have to put the extra D or you ain't gonna find us.
Extra D.
Extra D is important. Oh my God.
All right, y'all. It was really nice having this discussion. I think it's important as Black people, as Black women, as Black adults to have these conversations. And I'm kind of really, to be honest, getting annoyed with the word normalize because everybody's using it over.
They want to normalize everything.
Yeah, but normalize mental health. Like I said, if you break a limb, you go to the doctor. If you don't feel like you are doing well mentally, seek mental health. It's okay.
Yes, do the research. Find somebody that fits you. And we'll be seeing y'all on Truth Carpet next time.
Bye.
Peace out.